Audio on demand from Vision Christian Media.
Exploring faith and the future. Neil Johnson and Bible teacher Dr. Kameel Majdali.
Over this past week or two, we've been looking at the very controversial topic of abortion. Well, today, Kameel, having looked at some of the historical aspects of how we got to where we are today, having looked at some of those pro-life aspects of understanding the Bible, what sort of conclusion can we draw about how we ought to look at this very difficult issue?
All right, Neil, remember that we began this discussion because I was asked by my niece in the United States to tell me or tell her my full view on the subject. So that's why I wrote on it, and hence we've had this discussion. We looked at scriptures, and I believe that the scriptures are very clear that God cares about us, knows about us, loves us, and this happened from before the foundations of the world. If he's telling Jeremiah, I knew you even before I formed you in the womb, I don't think that just applies to Jeremiah, but to all of us. So to me, we believe that life in the womb is a person worthy of protection. There is a columnist, a conservative one in the U.S. called Don Feder, and he calls abortion part of a culture of death. Now, it's hard to argue with that, especially, first of all, when you understand that 55 million fetuses were aborted in the U.S. since abortion was legalized in 1973. But it's even more than that. When abortion was legalized in the U.S. in 1973, prophetic voices were saying, first it's abortion, down the track it'll be euthanasia, always couched in moral, compassionate terms. When these voices spoke back in the 70s, people scoffed at them, said they were scaremongering, and said it would never happen, euthanasia, terminating life because it was no longer convenient. But guess what? It is happening, and it's happening before our eyes. Think of it, how insidious that the very, very young and the very, very old, the most vulnerable members of our society, are being targeted for destruction, often for expedient means or economic. Now, if you really believe in justice, simple, true justice, then it is incumbent on us to defend those who cannot defend themselves. In this case, they can't even speak for themselves, be it the very, very young and the very, very old. I often asked, and this is what I said to my niece, is the United States and the Western world better off because we had Roe versus Wade? Does 55 million abortions improve quality of life, instill compassion for the needy, or improve our ability to care? Does this phenomena strengthen the family? And then I said this, and I asked the question, no place on earth should be safer than a mother's womb. And if a child cannot even be safe in its own mother's womb, is there anywhere on this planet that is safe anymore? So, yes, I am unashamedly pro-life. But I'll tell you, Neil, where possible, obviously I don't have unlimited resources, God does. I try to support people where I can who want to carry the baby to term rather than end it this way. One lady waltzed into my office years ago and says, I'm pregnant, I'm 40-something, I'm divorced, and I have teenage kids, and I want an abortion. She's coming to me to ask for my opinion. So I gave her an answer similar to what I've given here, and she sent a message back. She says, I'm keeping the baby. I trust, Neil, that'll be what many will say.
Faith and the Future with Neil Johnson and Dr. Kameel Majdali from Teach All Nations. For more from Dr. Majdali, including books and DVDs on prophecy, Bible commentaries, plus today's and other episodes of Faith and the Future, go to vision.org.au.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.